Hey guys, my name is Bridget, and today I'm going to be talking about Dark Phoenix, which is the 12th and final X-Men film made by Sony. This film is about the character Jean Grey, who has telekinetic abilities, and when in space, she collides with some supernatural force, which increases and heightens her abilities and makes her extremely dangerous to the world, and the other X-Men have to decide whether they're going to save her, save the world, or what they're going to do, because they don't know how to stop the force that could be destroying the world by her. As you all know, I love a good superhero film. If there's powers, I'll be there. You can pretty much count on that. The X-Men films are always kind of strange. At least recently, the timeline is so confusing that I don't know where we stand in the timeline, because there were the older X-Men films that were like originally made and kind of made X-Men popular and made superhero films popular as well. And then there's the new X-Men films that they've been doing recently, like Days of Future Past and Apocalypse, and this one, and they've already done the Dark Phoenix timeline, so I'm kind of confused by how all of these timelines line up. Is this just another iteration? I think that's what it is. Sorry if I don't know. I have not read the comic, so I can't critique it from that standpoint, but I'm going to be talking about it from a film viewing standpoint and from a superhero lover standpoint, because I do love superhero films. I would probably rate this film a B-, C+, somewhere in that range, because I did think it was good. You go to the X-Men films to see the amazing CGI that they can do. However, I do think some of the character and plot lines weren't as good as they could have been. They could have been totally more explained and fleshed out, and a lot of it was that action. While I do love action and everything, it was a bit much. Most of the film was action and fighting and everything, and usually I'm totally down for that, but I wanted a bit more plot and storylines that I felt more for the characters and felt like there was more at stake. I feel like a lot of the character development in this film was dependent on you having seen the previous films and caring for the characters based on those previous films, but I don't think they elaborated enough, because in films like the MCU, where you watch Infinity War, and yeah, maybe there's not a lot of character development with some of the characters, but they have whole movies backing them up, where it's just focused on that one character and their friend and their development, and you don't get that for X-Men. So you don't have that rich character development background to fall back on when you don't completely pull through with the characters. I think a lot of the superpowers and effects, they were really well done. However, I do think that kind of overshadowed the plot and let the plot be a bit weaker while still making it seem like this is really good. But there's so much effect that you don't really get as much of the plot as you wanted. Because if there's that character development building behind it, then the fights mean more to the viewer. There might be some mild spoilers within this video, so if you don't want to be spoiled at all, don't watch this review until you've seen the movie. In a similar vein, I thought the alien enemies could have been way more fleshed out. Yes, their planet was destroyed by this force and they're following it, but I felt like they didn't really have any motivation behind that, and that didn't make me feel for them at all. I thought they could have done something to make the audience understand why they're like this and why they want to destroy the world. Because if they want to live on the world, why would they destroy it? I don't really understand. Their characters needed to be more developed for that to feel like more of a threat, because for me, they just kind of seemed like mindless blobs who were fighting everyone. Another problem that I had with the film was something that I really loved from the last two films that wasn't in this one, was the Quicksilver scene. In Days of Future Past and in Apocalypse, Quicksilver had this amazing scene where it's slow-mo and he's playing some awesome song on his headphones and running through, helping everything. I really thought we were gonna get that in this film, because he's my favorite character. I love Evan Peters. I love Quicksilver. I dressed up as him for Comic-Con in 2016, 2017, one of those years. I thought his scenes were so well done in the past film. It made me really look forward to this film, because like, no matter what, I would really love that scene. We got a scene of him saving people on the spaceship, and there was the scene with Jean by the house where he's running up the block. Seen in the trailer as well. Then he's just put on medical leave, and you don't really see him for the rest of the film. And I think his comedic element and like his attitude would add more fun and a more interesting dynamic to the team. In the final train scene, if he was there, like he had gotten better and he was in the final train scene, they could have added a whole slow motion sequence where he's running through the train, grabbing enemies and throwing them off or something like that in slow motion, and have some great music playing on top of that while the train scene's happening. And then you kind of like go back to real time and see everyone. I thought that could have made it so much better, because then like you kind of add that fun element to it with his character, and none of the other characters really had that element of like fun, because it's superpowers and like you want to have some fun within the film. Yes, you want it to be dramatic, you want the audience to feel things, but you also want them to have fun, because that's what you're here for. Superpowers aren't real, but you want to enjoy the idea that like there are people with superpowers in this world, and just have some fun with it. And he really does have fun with it every time we see him on screen, at least in the past films. But in this film, he got like 2 minutes of screen time, and I was really upset by that. I was really looking forward to seeing him again. You saw him in the trailers and everything, and then you don't see him really in the film at all. And I thought a lot of people liked his character, which is why I was really sad that that wasn't more a part of the story. I thought Jean's character arc was good. that's good because it's basically the whole movie. I liked how we saw her as a child and growing up, and I thought that was good. I just thought there could have been a bit more done with it to make the audience feel more for her character, because the whole thing is her being upset about these powers and being sad and angry about her life. I didn't connect to that on an emotional level. I did want to connect. I wanted to feel something for her. Yeah, she's upset. I understand that like this sucks, that this happened to her, and Charles changed her memories, doesn't remember, and now she's remembering it all, but something about that didn't make me care for her as much as I should have. I thought Nicholas Hoult, who played Hank in The Beast, I thought he did a really great job. I thought his acting was really good. His character was really well played. He was really upset about everything that happened with Raven, and I thought he did a good job of showing the complexities of the situation they were in. Another character I really liked was how Charles was done. Professor X, James McAvoy, he does a great job. And most of the previous films, Professor X is seen as this all good person and like he does no wrong. But in this film, you really see his dilemma and how he's trying to do a good thing, but ultimately it wasn't his best move. And I thought that was a really good change of pace for his character, for him to see what he did and kind of learn that maybe this wasn't the best choice and like I can make mistakes as well. And for him to learn from that, I thought that was really good. He was probably the strongest character in the film in my opinion. And finally, I really did love the reunion between Charles and Eric at the end. I thought that was a really great moment for them to finally come together after all the previous films where they're fighting, arguments between each other, just the difficulties they've had in their relationship. I thought that was a really great way to end the film and to kind of conclude it all, because that was something that was going through the whole series, because they've constantly been clashing and like having a difference of opinion, and now they're finally coming back together, see eye to eye again, and be those friends that we know them to be from the beginning. Wish there was an end scene. There was not. I thought this was a fun movie. I thought they could have done a lot of different things a bit better, but it was a good movie to go see and just watch the superpowered action sequences happen on screen, just like a lot of other superhero films. I just think it could have been done better so that it would have been more captivating and a greater conclusion to the whole series, because this is the last X-Men movie by Sony before Marvel takes over and completely reinvents the world. So it was a little disappointing in that sense, but I did enjoy watching the action sequences unfold. I think B- C+ is a pretty good rating for this film. There's some mixed reviews about it. I thought it was pretty good, but like there could have been things done better. Thanks for watching my review of Dark Phoenix. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to my channel for more content like this. I'm going to be doing some more film reviews this summer. Let me know what you thought of the film down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video, which should be up very soon. So see you guys then. Okay, bye!